Good afternoon, and this will be a merged episode. Listen, you guys, just wanted to let you know I couldn't fight it no longer. Let me explain. As you all know, I had the cataract surgery on March 11th and March 25th. They had me on a compound medication following the surgery, which were antibiotics, a special eye drop, and steroids. Well, when you come off of the steroid, you can have what they call bounce back. And I did ask my doctor about that. I said, now with this bounce back, I said, because I have autoimmune disease, with this bounce back, will I end up having a MS attack? He assured me that I probably would not. He said because he's done the surgery on many with autoimmune disease before, and they never had any problems afterwards. Well, being that I have MS and then other autoimmune diseases on top of MS, I kept in the back of my mind, this might get me. And so, anyway, as you all know, I've been struggling for the past few weeks with my legs, and typically that I thought was a result of, well, it was something else I thought it was a result of, but I didn't think it was an MS attack at the time because it wasn't your typical symptoms of MS. Oh, I had the vertigo. That's what I was struggling with. And so I got rid of that by taking the Antivert and everything. And basically that was the only symptom I had. Then I started having problems with my legs, and they were just kind of hurting for no reason. And so I stayed off of them. I had to resort to my walker and everything. And so then over the past month here, the symptoms have waxed and waned pretty much. One day I might wake up and I'm going through the symptoms. Then I might wake up the next day and I'm totally fine. It's been that way for the past couple of, I would say the last week, things had improved to the point where I said, okay, I can get going now. Well, our weather tanked once again. We have gotten no higher than maybe 50 degrees for the past 3 days straight, and that's supposed to go all into next week. So we won't have the heat or anything. And so today is rainy, it's dreary. I woke up this morning and I didn't feel right. I said, okay. And actually yesterday I didn't feel the best, but I pressed on. But although I didn't feel right this morning, it was no way. I was not getting it. If I would have had to slither through the liquidation stores, it was happening. But when I got to White Lake, and you saw in that first video, I only spent 7 minutes in there because they were pretty much cleaned out. Everything in White Lake was 90 to 95% off. I guess I could have gotten, those planners that they had were only like a few dollars, but I didn't feel like standing in a long line because they were crowded, because their last day is actually Friday. I don't think they're going to last that long. If you look at that video, you saw that everything was pretty much gone out of there. And the construction is complete. So whatever that was, it was done. So I was there in like 10 minutes. Well, when I left White Lake, I made a beeline to Auburn Hills. I said, if there's any chance for me to get some tool or anything of substance, I better get there because I know that they're not closing until Sunday. So I already had in the back of my mind that they were not going to have the 90 to 95% off yet. They're going to bring that in on Friday. Well, I got there. It took me about 20 minutes to get all the way from White Lake to Auburn Hills. And thank goodness I only got stopped at one light, so I was happy about that. So I got to Auburn Hills, and that's where the jackpots come in, because I hit snake eyes at White Lake. I came out of there with nothing. And so it was this one lady, when I was leaving out and I was explaining that I was on my way to Auburn Hills, she overheard me. Guess what? In fact, you're going to see on the tape, because on the second video, because when we started talking in Auburn Hills, she was like, oh, I was just in White Lake. And And it dawned on me, we talked and everything, and she asked the name of my channel and everything. Then it dawned on me, she was the lady who was like coming out when I was coming out, when I was saying that I was headed to Auburn Hills. So we ended up meeting there, and we both were able to find what we were looking for. Okay, so Auburn Hills. I walked in there, first of all. Like I said, everything is just like it was the last time. 60% off is the highest other than the Christmas stuff. But they started putting out other things. So the bonus that I got on today, and you're going to see in that film, I got 2 huge things of the sanitizing wipes. And that's probably what they used in the store because they were selling off a lot of their store items. And you'll see when I first go in, I stopped at that counter where they had things that they used in the store in general, like dust mops and stuff. I started to get a dust mop, but then I ended up putting that back when I found out how much the tool was going to be. Now, you know my budget was $100. I came a few cents under. Slap me 5, y'all. When I say I bought every bolt of tool they had in there, so all of them weren't full. A couple weren't full, some were over full. And so the tool at 60% off came to $156, I believe. But once you get to the cash register, you knock off an extra 50% off the 60%. So I was able to get the tool for 90% off. I ended up spending $75 for the tool. But when I say I got a lifetime supply, in fact, it's over on the other side, but I don't want to show it to you yet. I'll do that when I do my final haul video because I'm on my way to the hospital. But know that I got enough tool to last me a lifetime. That was my goal. That was my goal. And the second film got cut off abruptly because the phone had dropped. You're going to see that towards the end. The phone dropped. And when I reached down to pick it up, I picked it up and somehow or another, my thumb hit the stop button. So that's why that video ended abruptly. But we will be continuing this. I guess by the time I get home from the hospital, they'll keep me for at least 2 to 3 days to run the steroids. I am not going to. They might kick me out because I am not allowing them to run the IV steroids. Whenever I have a MS attack, my doctor, for some reason, he likes to run the 1,000 milligram IV steroid, and that makes me worse. Oh, I went through all last winter when I had an MS attack. I went on, because I told him I was reluctant. I was like, no, I won't, because I get what they call Solomedrol. It comes in an IV form at a very, very high dose. And when I say it makes you sick, okay? You are hit. And then you have to recover from the steroids. I'm doing that now, and I feel horrible from just what I was on. There is no way I'm going to allow him to knock another 1,000 milligrams in me over a 3-day period. That might take me out of here, okay? If y'all don't see me by next week, start looking for me, okay? I might be dead, okay? But I'm not going to do it. He's either going to, and I'm going to let him know, I'm advocating for myself today. I am not falling for that mess again like I did last year in December. I was in the hospital, the holiday and everything else. And then when I got out, it took me 3 months to recover from December all the way until gardening season. That's when I finally started feeling well enough. And then I still couldn't do much of anything last summer. So I'm in the same boat right now. I am not going to let him give me that 1,000 milligram IV. If they come with it, I'm going to refuse it. And then they, then they do what they do. They may discharge me out or whatever. If they do that, that's fine. I can refuse it and still be treated for MS, run an IV or something. But I think he will wane and go on and give me the vial. That same steroid comes in a vial at a lower dose. It's like 5 milligrams. And so the last time he said, well, that's not enough. I was like, okay, we'll do it this one time. This time, we're not doing it because I know exactly how this attack happened and it's not as severe as the last attack. But the point is, that vial, I probably just need that to get me over the hump. And then what they'll do is they'll taper it, and then I will be fine. Now the vial is fine. I have no effects from that because it's such a low dosage. It just helps me to feel better and helps me to get going again. That big giant 1,000 milligram one is a whole different beast. It strips the taste from your mouth. It strips the coating from your tongue and your throat. It's horrible. It is just horrible. And then it makes your symptoms worse and everything else. And you just bedridden from that mess. So I'm not allowing it. Now, if he say, I want to do just one big dose and then we do the vials, I might agree to that, because one dose of it isn't bad. It's once you get into day 2 and day 3, you start having all kind of problems. Anybody who's been on steroids, no. Well, you may know, depending on what dosage you've had with steroids. But anyway, so I got the tool, like I said, a lifetime supply, and then I was able to find the sanitizing wipes. So altogether, I spent $99 and I think 48 cents or something like that. And so I told the lady I came on budget, and I wish y'all could have heard that because the video had cut off by the time I got to that. And then I was telling her the strategy that I used. I told a lot of people, we were all just kind of talking, and everybody, all older people were in there because, your younger people are at work. So it was mostly retirees. We all stood around, talked and everything, especially when I had to, be in line for at the end and everything. We were talking, and we all had the exact same strategy. As at least a lot of them. We all said, forget the 90%. We're not waiting to the end. We want to get what we want to get right now. Everybody, a lot of people use that same strategy. And then also I asked for an apron. I wanted to know if I could at least purchase an apron to have that to remind me of Joann's, because or to remember it by, because I collect aprons. The first store, she said they didn't have any. The second store, she was like, you're the second person. And then she was like, well, let's ask the manager. Well, the manager had went to lunch, and by then my legs were feeling like lead pipes. And I was like, that's okay. I can pass that. So then when I was getting ready to leave, I was forgetting my receipt. She was like, I know you want your final receipt. I was like, hand it here, sister. So I got my receipt. But anyway, I think I did very well. So I will be doing my tally, and that will be once I'm back home from the hospital. I'll do my tally, and then I will come on with the video. And we'll do that, the video of everything, depending on how I feel. So just give me a little time, you guys. I will be coming on, even if I don't feel well enough to do the final, the Joann ceremonial video, then I will still come on to let you know I'm home and I'm doing okay and everything. So anyway, so y'all keep me in your prayers. This is just a small hurdle, but I'm hoping that it goes the way that I want it to go. I came home, I ate before leaving, because long as I get there before shift change, I'm okay. I already know what's going to happen. So it was no big rush. I got my bag packed. I packed my bags for the hospital, everything I need, so that my sister won't have to worry about bringing things up there. So I got everything that I need. And so I have one stop to make before I get to the hospital. To the store on the corner. It's a store right on the corner of my street. I'm stopping there to get my goodies because, of course, I'll be on hospital food and you got to survive. So therefore, I'm going to get my goodies, Snicker bars, M&Ms, and whatever goodies I can think of that's going to fill me up. Donuts, stuff like that, the Hostess donuts. I get stuff like that just to fill me up when the hunger pangs get to be too much. So I'm doing that. And then I got my iPad, not my new one. I'm taking my old iPad. That way I can watch TV because I have Discovery Plus. So, hospital, I'll have my own private room. They always do that. And I'm always on the neurological floor. I'm almost certain that they will do an MRI of the brain, spine, because they do that yearly anyway. So they'll do that while I'm in there. So I'll probably come on and do a film while I'm in the hospital. I know at the hospital it takes longer because the internet system there isn't like mine, super high speed. So, but I'll probably do 1 or 2 videos if I feel up to doing it. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Okay, you guys, so let me get off of here. Just wanted to let you know what's happening. And I'm getting ready to head out. So I will talk to you guys later. And may God bless you all. Bye-bye. And like I said, keep me in your prayers. Bye-bye.